Well, my first meeting was actually a couple of weeks before, or rather, no, it wasn't a couple of weeks. It was a few days before our first actual session. I had been working with Sam for several months, trying to come up with a record, an artist, a song, or anything that we could make a buck out of. And during this process, Elvis's name came up, and Sam gave me his number. I'd call him, come over to my house, and listen to him sing. So he came over one Sunday afternoon and listened, well, we played rather. He sang, played, I guess a couple of hours. Bill Black at the time was living a few doors down the street. He came down, listened to a couple of songs and left. And after he left, I called Sam and told him, I said, well, the boy sings pretty good. I said, he did knock me out. And he said, well, what do you think? Will we need a song or what? I said, yeah, I think we'll write a song. It would be, you know, be good on record. When I first met Elvis, when he came to my house on a Sunday afternoon, he had on a pink shirt, pink pants with white stripes down the legs, and white shoes. And I thought my wife was going to go out the back door. Just, again, just shocked because people just weren't wearing that kind of flashy clothes at the time. They had the sideburns and the ducktails, just a lot of hair. Bill and I were working together with a group called the Starlight Wranglers. What we referred to as just a regular juke joint or honky-tonk band at the time, and which there were many bands of that type around. The singer's name was Doug Poindexter, and it was Doug Poindexter and the Starlight Wranglers. Bill was working daytime at Firestone building tires, and I was working for my brother who had a cleaning plant, cleaning and blocking hats for him. Oh, Elvis was driving the truck at Crown Electric at the time when we first met him. Well, I don't remember how long he worked there after we started performing, just in town, you know, in those early weeks. Couldn't have been very long. Elvis had been in, which was then known really as Memphis Recording Service. He had been in there about a year before. Uh, well, the Memphis Recording Service was a service where anyone could walk in off the street with a guitar or what have you and make a personal recording of their own. So Elvis had been in with his guitar to make a record as a gift for his mother. I think her birthday, I believe. And in the process, Sam and his secretary, Marion Keisker, both thought the boy had a good voice and had just kept his name on file. And like I said, a year later, approximately a year later, when I came in contact with Sam and in discussing it, well, his name had come up. Next meeting was a few days later when we went into the studio for, again, primarily an audition. Sam, in the meantime, had called him and asked him if he would mind coming in the studio and like to put his voice on tape and see how it came back, and which he, of course, readily agreed to. And Bill and I only went in with him as to have just some kind of meager accompaniment with him, so he wouldn't be standing alone in the studio, you know. The first song I think we put out was I Love You Because. The same cut as the one that's on the record. We went through several different songs, and again, a problem would be for him to sing something that we knew, because Bill and myself both played by ear. They always played by ear, sang by ear. You ever see anybody sing by ear? But anyway, we went through two or three different songs, and more or less taking a break, having coffee, Coke, and Bill started clowning around. Just picked up his guitar and started kibitzing and singing "That's All Right, Mama." He started singing "That's All Right, Mama" and clowning around the studio, dancing, just cutting up in general. And Bill picked up his bass, started slapping it and clowning also. And then I joined in, and it was just a rhythm vamp. And Sam was in the control room, the door was open, and he came out and said, "What are y'all doing?" I said, "That sounds pretty good." I said, "We don't know." He said, "Well, see if you can do it again the same way. Let's put it on tape and see what it sounds like." I said, "Sound pretty good through the door." So we kind of looked around at each other and said, "Well, what were we doing?" So we backtracked and tried to do it again. And I think we did it twice more. We did once for Sam to get a balance, and then we put it on tape, and that was it. A few days later, next night or two, oh gosh, I don't remember, but we had the one song. We didn't know what we had. We knew it was different. So now the problem was to get something for the other side in the same vein. And I don't remember what kind of songs we possibly went through in this session, but again, during a break, Bill Black started clowning and singing "Blue Moon of Kentucky" in a high falsetto a la Bill Monroe. And but he was slapping the bass and everything. And Elvis joined in and started singing it with him. And I think we all knew immediately when this happened that this might be, what we was looking for. So we kind of stopped and figured out where to start and stop and put it on tape, and that was it. Elvis played the Bon Air Club with the Starlight Wranglers group first. That was in other words, he came out there as an added attraction, guest artist, what have you. The first plan was Elvis would become a part of the already existing group, and in fact, we did two or three. I did a few shows of that nature with Elvis as a added feature attraction. But as most bands go, dissension became apparent almost immediately. Dissension among the troops, so to speak, because we had to, since Bill and I had recorded the two songs with him, when he'd come on, well, everybody else had to drop out, or it wouldn't be the record. And so I think you can see where that immediately became from the other guys, which rightfully so, they're left out of a spotlight situation. And so after a few weeks of this, everybody more or less agreed that, well, this is not going to work this way, so, you guys go ahead, and it looks like this thing might turn into something good. I don't think there was any ill feelings among anyone, just a situation of the times.